I have worked with a DI and really enjoyed it. I found that it changed the way I did the work because I had a whole nother connection that needed to be made. But when that connection was working well, it was wonderful. And I learned that incorporating ways of signing a concept in the middle of an assignment was not a good thing to do. Because when I saw how the DI signed it, the next time it came up, I signed it that way. And it totally threw the deaf interpreter because then she wasn't clear that we were still talking about the same thing because I was signing it so completely differently. So I realized that I had to incorporate that kind of feedback into my work later, not in the middle of an assignment. I don't think the skill of the interpreter is what's really being questioned when a DI is brought in. And I would suggest if there's any question where you're not sure if you're really understanding the deaf person, or if you're not sure that they're understanding you, then I would say right away you need to consider bringing in a DI.
I think dropping form is really key. It's a very important part of achieving equivalency when you're interpreting messages. And as a hearing person whose first language is English, and now I work between English and ASL, I have to always recognize that I have an English brain and that my brain has no problem with the English form. It's very used to it. And so if I'm not careful, I'll forget to drop form, or I won't pay attention to that, and I will put out supposedly ASL messages that are actually full of English form, and those won't do so well for the brain that hasn't grown up in English. So I think we have to be always diligent, vigilant. We have to be careful to always check ourselves and say, does that message make sense just in English? Like, what if you didn't know English? Does it still make sense? So dropping form is a really important part of what we do.